Hi, this is Stacy or Stacky Scraps, and I'm very excited today to be bringing you a brand new tutorial in my coloring page series. It's the second tutorial in the series, and it's all about using the join function to help improve the quality of our silhouettes and to also reduce the amount of paper piecing we have to do once we bring our cuts into the Cricut. With that in mind, I would like to make sure we're all starting from the same version. The most recent version, as the time of this video, is 1.2.2. So I'd like you to click Help and About Make the Cut if you don't know what version you're on, and make sure it's at least 1.2.2 or higher. With that in mind, I'd like to announce the launch of my brand new website, stackyscraps.com. I'm very excited about my website. I've built in some functionality that I hope you guys are going to be really excited about too. In addition to that functionality, I have a lot of other goodies, including PDF tutorials of all of my tutorials. There's a PDF version of this tutorial on my site. You can use them together with the video because they use the same example. With that in mind, let's go to my site and see what we have cooking. Alright, here are my tested freebie links. These are great if you want to browse for an image. If you don't know exactly what image you're looking for, this is your place to start. There are 100 websites I've gone to. I've tested them all for you guys to make sure that they all will work with and make the cut. I've tested 1 or 2 images or fonts from each of these sites to make sure of that for you guys. Okay. The other thing I've done, and this is kind of more exciting to me if you know exactly what you want, is I've added this custom search box. What this is it allows you to use the power of Google on my site to search just those 100 sites plus my own. So if you know exactly what you want, you can type it in here, and it's a nice little search function that will bring you results from just the 100 websites. So you may say, well, what's the big deal about that? Those 100 websites are within Google. True, but you're going to have to sift through a lot more to get through them, and you're going to have to do multiple queries or multiple searches, and they're going to have to be different searches. So you would have to do Clifford the Big Red Dog, for instance, coloring page, Clifford the Big Red Dog font, and you might not get sites that are good. Clipart particularly has a lot of sites I've noticed that are ad-ridden and kind of like leave you in a loop you can't get out of, so I've done all that for you, so you don't have to if you don't want to. You can now click on search, and in a new window it's going to bring up our search results. And here you'll see that we only have Clifford the Big Red Dog in the Coloring PBS Kids area of the PBS Kids site. So we're going to click on that, and it's going to bring us to that website. While that website is loading, I would like to tell you I'm a little under the weather, so pardon my voice if it does anything funky, but I'm doing the best I can. Here we are, we're clicking on Clifford the Big Red Dog, and we have Clifford's coloring pages. I have chosen this page for our tutorial because I think it's cute and it serves both of the purposes of what we're trying to explain. So I'm going to right click, I'm going to click on Save Picture As, I'm going to go to my desktop, maybe, there it is, and I'm going to type in Clifford to save it. Now, let me explain to you a little bit. I've done a little bit of pre-work here to kind of give you guys a great visualization of what it is we're trying to do. On a lot of images, on this one you'll see that there are these pieces such as this around the eye area that are meant to be black but are not connected to the outer edges. These pieces we end up cutting out separately and individually piecing in our last tutorial. So let's take a look at a side-by-side comparison so I can show you what I'm talking about. On the top here, you'll notice this is what the results would have been from our first tutorial. So you would have taken this black silhouette background, you'd have put this red piece on top of it, and then you'd have had to put each of these 6 individual pieces on top of that. So that would have given you 8 pieces and 3 layers for this face. What I'm going to teach you to do in this tutorial is to join these 6 pieces and the 7th piece into one face that you can then just layer on top of here. So that's going to bring you down in the number of pieces that you use. And I hope you can see how that will reduce a lot of your paper piecing when you cut out with the Cricut. Now let me show you the other thing. The other thing that's going on is there's this little triangle right, went to the wrong page, naturally. Right here, a little triangle on the coloring page. This is not part of Clifford. It's just a background. So in the past, in our last tutorial, we would have just left that background black. Not a big deal on this particular image because this is a small image. What I'm going to teach you how to do is how to cut a hole out of this. And I did tell you I was going to do this at the end of the last tutorial where we had the girl or the baby and the bear, Precious Moments baby and teddy bear next to each other, and there was that big black piece in between. So depending on your project, it might be more or less useful. With that in mind, let us go to the software and import the image. So this we've gone through before in the other tutorial, so I'm just going to kind of show you quickly. I'm clicking on this girl to import, selecting my file. It's going to show me the threshold is fine for this. It looks good. I'm going to click accept. Now, if you notice, this image is currently vertical and should be horizontal, and I need to turn it counterclockwise. So I'm going to use the rotate. Now, there is a rotate in the top left corner where you can drag and hover, but when I'm doing this kind of fourth and half rotate, I like to use the numbers so I know that it ends up straight. So I'm going to go into transformations and I'm going to go to rotate, and so I want it counterclockwise. I'm going to go negative for backwards 90 degrees, and there it is. I don't know if you probably can't see it yet, so let me blow it up. And there we have it, the exact way we would want it. So with that in mind, I'm going to do edit, shape magic, select all, edit, shape magic, break, which we've done before to break it into all of its pieces. I'm now going to double click. I guess I don't have to double click. I'm going to magic select a square around the stuff I don't want on the side and click delete. Same on this side, also covered in the last tutorial. Here's where the new stuff is going to start. I'm going to magic select around and move, which is a new function I'm loving. And here's the problem. I want to join this big background piece to this little triangle, but there's no way for me to magic select both of them without magic selecting a whole bunch of other stuff. So I'm going to do what I call the move method, and I'm going to move them out of the way so that they're separate and I can join them. So this is my silhouette background, and I'm going to move it by going into location and size, and I'm going to look at the x-axis here. This x-axis is going to move me from the left to the right. So I'm going to say I want to move, I'm at 0, I want to be at 10. So I'm going to add 10, 0 plus 10 is 10, and there I am. I'm going to do the same thing with this little triangle piece if I can select it. I have to shift tab until I can get just it. There it is. Now this is at 4, but I know I moved over 10, so I can just add a 1 in front of it because 4 and 10 is 14. And there I have it, and it's in the exact right place. Now I can use my magic select to make a box around these two areas, these two pieces. I'm going to do edit, shape magic, and join, and it's going to put that hole in it for me. I can now move this back by subtracting 10. 10 minus 10 is 0, and there it is, and it's in place. Now, I'm going to take a pause here on the video, and I'm going to come back and show you the rest to go to the second video.